Hey guys, welcome back to The Horror with their hostess with the mostest, Jenabelle, as always. So we are diving in right back into our Halloween marathon franchise review, whatever you want to call it. We are going to go ahead and review Halloween 5, The Revenge of Michael Myers. Isn't he always just getting revenge? I'm just saying, whatever. So this is Halloween 5, came out in 1989. 1 year after part 4. This is definitely one they have admitted quite a bit, actually, that this one was definitely rushed due to the success of Halloween part 4, The Return of Michael Myers. You can kind of definitely feel a little bit of, like, rushness in this movie. I feel like you can't, like, you can feel that it was a little bit rushed, but nothing like, say, Sleepaway Camp 3. But then again, that one was shot literally back to back from each movie. This one, though, wasn't quite back to back like the Sleepaway Camp parts 2 and 3. But this one did, like I said, came out a year after the fourth one in 1989. We have Ellie Cornell, Beau Starr, and of course Danielle Harris, all returning to reprise their roles in this movie. This movie, I don't know if it's just because I really kind of grew up with this movie. I mean, I know a lot of us kind of have, but when I say that, when I was younger, because like this movie came out when I was 5 years old. By the time it hit like TV and everything, I was maybe like 6-ish. So like I was like an itty bitty little Jenabelle myself. And of course, this is one of those franchises I've been pretty open about. One of the three top ones that I really kind of grew up watching, kind of lived off of and everything. So every Halloween, I would always want to go home and watch the Halloween movies on TV. So for the longest time, growing up, I pretty much obsessively watched parts 1, 2, 4, and 5. So this one definitely has always kind of had a little bit of a special place in my heart. Not necessarily my favoriteest Halloween movie. No, that still goes to parts like 1 and 4, I would have to say. But I still very much enjoy this one. Still, I feel like it does move the story along forward. I don't know if it's for the best or not, but the story in this one definitely is still a bit better than some of the other sequels that we would later have, i.e. Halloween Part 6, theatrical cut and producer's cut, and Halloween Resurrection, just saying. But we'll get to those movies when we get to them. We're talking about Halloween 5 right now. But no, this one, like I said, it's got 3 of the actually I should say 4, because Donald Pleasence, I just feel like at this point I don't even need to say that Donald Pleasence has returned to do his Sam Loomis role again in here. But you do have 4 of the previous actors in the previous movie coming back to reprise their roles in this movie to kind of like, keep it connected and everything. A new cast of characters and everything. Namely, Tina, who I feel like Tina is one of those characters where a lot of people really don't like that character, really find her annoying. I could see that, but for some reason, I've always liked the character Tina. I know she is a bit obnoxious, she's a bit, like, in your face and everything, but you know what? For the movie, I feel like it kind of works. I feel like she does kind of fit that mold of, like, typical teenager, that we started to really kind of more and more see in a lot of these, or not just Halloween, but a lot of these, like, horror movies and everything, where it's, like, a little bit more defined, that typical ditzy teenager and everything, where, I give Tina credit because I feel like she does have, like, a good heart and everything. She, really very much, likes Jamie Lloyd and wants to help take care of her, Ellie's character kind of help take care of Jamie and everything. But, typical teenager, once again, like I said, she's more concerned about hanging out with her boyfriend Michael, not Michael Myers, but maybe they should have had a little love connection. I'm just saying. I don't know. But, she just kind of, is more concerned about going out, having a good time, going to the Halloween party and everything. So, in a sense, I feel like that is, pretty typical, teenager right there, where it's like, intentions are good, but you're a teenager. You kind of want to go out and be with your friends. So, in that aspect, I think that's why I kind of like the Tina character, but whatever. But Michael, let's talk about Michael. I don't know why I always like talk about everyone else before I get to Michael or Sam Loomis. So Michael, as we know in part 4, was pretty much gunned down, blown up, I think, caved in, believed to be dead, but no, Michael is much more resourceful than that. I think probably was, taking a couple notes from Jason, kind of escaped through the little river there and found this, like, homeless cave dweller that kind of took him in, took care of him, even though for, like, a year he was almost, like, comatose in this guy's cave. Like, if I was this guy, I'd be like, dude, if you're gonna die, can you, like, maybe not die in my cave? This is, like, my home. I know it's not much, but no, he, like I said, he kind of is taken in by this cave dweller. This guy kind of takes care of him and everything and watches over him. Okay, whatever. I respect that. But then, of course, a year goes by, Halloween comes along, and here comes Michael again, going after little Jamie Lloyd. Jamie Lloyd, who, somehow suddenly is mute. Which I guess could kind of make sense. I mean, she just went through a traumatic experience and everything. Okay. But then she also has sort of, like, a psychic connection to her uncle. What the fuck did that happen? I mean, I guess it kind of does make sense, in a way. It's, especially, too, with the ending of part 4 and everything, where we think she's going to kind of take over being the new Michael and everything. Of course, they don't follow through with that. Instead, hey, let's make her psychic and know when Michael's about to kill someone. Whatever. But no, I mean, it's, for a story, I mean, those two things kind of are okay. I'm kind of okay with it. They're a little goofy, but you know what? It's a movie. It's a horror movie, and you gotta have some sort of connection and everything, especially, too, if you're trying to set up having this little girl potentially be the next killer and everything, which we all know didn't happen, because why would we actually do that? I'm just saying. So, but whatever. And by the way, Jamie has a new dog, Sunday from part 4, who was killed and was found in a closet. She now has this, like, big-ass Doberman or something. I don't even know what kind of dog that is. I'm terrible with breeds, but whatever. She's got this new dog, Max. Damn, Max are huge. I'm just saying, if you want protection, you get a dog like Max. Just saying. I got a little Peanut. He's not even that tough, so I know if someone like Michael Myers breaks in, my dog's gonna get killed. Sorry. But no, anyway, so yeah, but this one, so yeah, she's, Jamie's, psychic, she's mute, and she's also in this, like, children's hospital for basically kind of the equivalent of the halfway house we saw in Friday part 5, except the kids aren't as fucked up, i.e., like, anger issues, and then hacking up the mentally handicapped boy and everything. Not quite that far, but, they got some problems and stuff. They need a little bit of, like, a specialist and everything to help them cope with things and stuff. But yeah. And then we also have the introduction of the Man in Black in this movie, who has the little, like, thorn symbol, that, we will see again later on. I believe we did see, the thorn, symbol on Michael's hand in part 4. I don't think I had mentioned that in my review. I'm not even sure. I can't remember if I did or not. I think I had written a note about it, but I don't know if I mentioned it in part 4. But I believe it was part 4 that we saw Michael with the little thorn symbol on his hand. We then see that same symbol on the Man in Black in part 5 and everything, which is kind of interesting because by the end of this movie, we don't know who the Man in Black is. We could maybe kind of guess that it could maybe be Michael Myers, like, as he's trying to, like, stalk people, maybe he's trying to, like, change up his appearance. But at the end of this movie, we obviously know that's not true necessarily, because the Man in Black comes and shoots up the police station and frees Michael. Depending on which version of part 6 that you watch, either the original theatrical version or the producer's cuts, you may or may not end up getting answers to that question, who the Man in Black is. And for those of you who have not seen the producer's cut, I know most of us by this point, especially with the Scream Factory huge ass exclusive Blu-ray set and everything, that does include both versions. You cannot purchase this box set anymore. You can only do the 10 set, which does not include the producer's cut. But I believe you can actually purchase a copy, a standalone copy of the producer's cut somewhere. But anyway, I only mention that because those are definitely two very different versions of each other, and storylines at some points are very different from each other. So that's why I say depending on which version you watch after this. And by the way, I will be reviewing both versions of Halloween 6 for those of you who are wondering. But yeah, so it's like certain things like that we don't actually get any answers to in this movie. And like I said, depending on which version of 6 you watch, you may still not get those answers. So it's kind of a shame. Although I wish they would have done more with the Man in Black character, maybe more of a backstory and everything. But we don't really get any of that, which is unfortunate. And this is kind of where a lot of the continuity issues and everything really start to not really work out that well. So at least, like, after this one, I feel like part 5, you can still, like, it's still pretty manageable. It's not too bad with continuity issues, but going out forward after this, continuity in this franchise, we all know, it's like choose your own adventure books, basically, after this point. I'm just saying, especially with the timeline, but whatever. But yeah, so, so Michael obviously is trying to, get to Jamie again, get to killing her and everything. We still don't really know why, he's trying to go after Jamie or anything, why he seems to have this thing with killing his family and going after his family, but yeah. But I mean, for the most part for this movie, I would say whatever. I know I kind of already talked about the ending already on this movie. So Michael is actually caught and everything. And actually Sam Loomis, for the first time, I feel like, he's a little bit of a douche because he uses Jamie as bait to get Michael back to the Myers house. That's not really the original Myers house. I'm not sure. I think this may have been shot again in Salt Lake City, Utah, like part 4. I'm not 100% sure on that, but I know it was not shot in South Pasadena like the first couple of movies, but whatever. So yeah, that's a very different house. We all know that. We're like, dude, that's not the Michael Myers house. Like, I don't even know what house that is. But yeah, he uses her as bait to get Michael to, the house and everything, which, I mean, smart idea and everything, but, like, really? That poor little girl had to go down a damn laundry chute, dude. Like, no, dude. But props to Danielle Harris for doing that and everything, so I sure as hell wouldn't do it. It looks like it's fun, but I wouldn't do it. But yeah, so they get Michael and everything, they arrest him, they take him to jail, and they leave the damn mask on him. Like, I would have ripped the damn mask off and been like, dude, it's over. It's over. But no, of course, they take him to jail and everything, and like I said, the Man in Black shows up and shoots up the place and takes Michael. We don't know like I said, once again, who this man in black is, where the hell Michael Myers is or goes to. We're not going to find that out for another 7 years. Once again, depending on which version of Part 6 you watch. But yeah, that's the ending. That's the end and everything. Honestly, like, if they would have not done a part, like, 6, I mean, obviously, to, like, close up the story and everything, it's a good thing that they did do a part 6, but at the same time, just with, like, kind of, like, what we've had and everything and what they would do after part 6, I'm almost like, you know what, I would have been okay without, like, another sequel to this and stuff. I'm just saying, but for what it is, for part 5, even though it was rushed, it came out a year after part 4 and everything, it does have its issues and it definitely has its flaws. Like, you could definitely see a lot of the flaws in this one. And even more flaws going forward with more of the sequels and everything. It's, you know, like I said, I still really enjoy this one. I do. I don't watch it quite as much as like part 4 or anything, but it's still up there for me. I still really enjoy this one. It's definitely worth checking out, at least for like the first like half of the franchise. I would say, you know, if you want a little like Halloween binge, you know, and you want to, you know, especially if you don't want to do maybe Halloween 3, it's still a really good one, you know, especially like the storyline and everything. It's a nice little storyline from, you know, where we started with part 1 with Laurie Strode up to her daughter, Jamie Lloyd, and everything. That storyline, it's a pretty decent little storyline and everything. I like it. But yeah, let me know what you guys think of Halloween 5. Do you guys prefer Halloween 4 or 5? Which storyline do you prefer? Do you enjoy the Laurie Strode storyline more, or do you enjoy the Jamie Lloyd storyline? Let me know in the comments. Till next time, guys, as always, thanks for checking me out. Stay creepy, classy, and a little bit sassy.